Hey y'all, IRIX guy here, and I wanted to do a field test of the new, and this is the Sony RX100 IV, also commonly referred to as Sony RX100 Mark IV, or just Sony Mark IV. But what's really cool about this camera, and you can, throughout this video, I'm going to show some still photos and some video. Number one, it is 4K, so it's 4K ultra high definition. This does not have interchangeable lenses, but look at how tiny this thing is. Check the link within this video's description. You'll be able to see where to order it, as well as the various accessories. Like I've got a Sony branded LCD protector to better prevent damage to the LCD. That's one minor gripe that I have, is how the I like how it does flip up. So it's like that, and it can flip up, so if you're doing if you're doing face on video, you can have it facing you. Unlike a lot of cameras, it will not go out to the side. So if you've used well, in my case, I've used a GH4, and then the camera that I'm filming this with, the AX100, which is a camcorder, I've got the LCD flipped around facing me. So you can do that with this, but to do it, it's up like this and it's over the camera, so it's not out to the side. One thing I wish they did do, see when this folds back down, I wish that they had it to where it would fold so that this isn't exposed when it's in your pocket or whatever. And that's why the first thing I did when I got this camera out of the box, and check out my unboxing video if you haven't, the first thing I did was apply this LCD protector, because I wanted to make sure that it was better protected. But the camera itself, just very straightforward controls. Obviously I got this for the size and the auto modes. I mean, you can get really professional with this. For such a small camera, it can really produce some amazing results that you're about to see here in a moment. But I wanted to talk about the main things here, in addition to the size. Because see, I went from a GH4, which is a quite professional 4K camera, down to this, and then obviously the Sony AX100 that I'm filming this video with, this part of this video rather, because I'm going to flip over to this here in a moment. But it's a great camera for someone that just wants something to point and shoot that does really good quality, both photo and video. So let's take a few stills here. I'm going to turn the camera on, and one thing I wanted to do before I do that is show you it does have a finder, so you can pop this up and you can look through that, and this also pops back. So just a convenient way, if you don't want to use the LCD display, you can use that to professionally line up your shots. And that's particularly useful when it is very bright out. And if you're using this on a tripod, and there's a tripod I recommend, it's a portable tripod. It's actually made by Sony, and you can find a link to it within this video's description as well. But that's just a great way to ensure your shots are lined up. One thing I did want to notate is that 4K video on the RX100 Mark IV is limited to 5 minutes in duration. So if you're going to film more than 5 minutes, you're going to have to hit record again. And I think that's primarily, from what I've gathered researching this camera online, it's primarily linked to the heating, the thermals rather, of the camera. And now if you need to exceed that 5 minute 4K limitation, you can check out the RX10 II that's expected to release, I think it's August of 2015. So you've got the pop-up viewfinder there, and then also in the middle, this does have a flash, and you can pop it up. There's a little button right here. You can pop up the flash. A lot of people, including myself, would have rather had a hot shoe, because this does not have a microphone jack and it doesn't have a shoe. So the only audio you're going to get with this is from the camera itself. But to me, that's not a problem, because what I'll do is I'll record the audio using this RX100 Mark IV, and I'll have the audio recording concurrently with my Rode smartLav Plus, and you can find it within this video's description too. But just a convenient way to match the audio, and then in post-production in Final Cut Pro, remove the camera's audio and use a professionally recorded Rode smartLav Plus or whatever mic you're using. So that's, you know, to me that's not an issue. Yeah, I would have liked to have had a hot shoe instead, because like the mic I'm using right now to speak to you, that's a Sony mic on top of my RX100 Sony, and it's, as you can tell, it's very high quality. So now let's get down to this. You've seen what all pops out of this. The two things I didn't mention before we proceed here: it does have an HDMI and it does have a multi. The multi is just where you use the included USB cable. It'll actually charge by USB, which is nice, especially if you're needing to charge on a battery bank or whatever. Maybe you're on an airplane, you want to plug it into your laptop's USB port to charge, or maybe you want to plug it into a USB battery bank to recharge. That's really convenient. And then you've got the HDMI port, which I'll probably never use the HDMI port, but it's on there. This is not a touch screen, but what you can do, and check out my other video where I get more in depth with that, but it has Wi-Fi. So if you're using a compatible smartphone, in my case I'm using an iPhone 6 Plus, you can actually have that touch screen type functionality, but obviously you're not going to get it from this screen. This is not a touch screen on the camera. It's a very good high resolution display though. I don't know how well you can see it in the sun here, probably not that well. But let's get some pictures. I'm going to go over here to this case. I'm going to get a really good picture of it. And then I'm going to get one more close up of this tail light over here. And something I wanted to mention, you probably already realize this, I'm not a professional photographer. At least I don't consider myself to be one. So this camera makes up for my lack of ability. I'm going to make a picture of this FD RX100 on the tripod here. So just a full auto point and shoot, really good quality. I'm going to do one with the finder instead of the LCD. It's really going to get in zoomed in on that. And that's another thing, you can zoom in a couple ways. You can zoom using this knob right here on the top, or you can use this for a more I guess you call it cinematic type feeling zoom. But that's one thing I like, how precise the zoom in and out is. It looks very good, especially when you're doing video. Right now I'm just snapping another still, but it just does a really good job of making everything look really smooth. And when you see these pictures, and obviously I've been flashing them up as I've been filming this, but just the quality of this is incredible. And I'm going to get a close-up now of the tripod here that I'm using, that the AX100 is connected to. That's one thing with this, with the how thin this camera is. If you're using a tripod that uses plates, it's probably not optimal, because I was going to use it. I've got two Me Photo tripods. I've got the one that the AX100's on, and then I've got a smaller one, a shorter one and lighter one that I use for travel. But for this, I'm just going to use a Sony tripod that has a little, it doesn't have a detachable plate, it just screws right in. So let's get another still of the tripod here, and then I'm going to get a close-up of some grass. I'm going to zoom in on this tripod and focus on the brand name of it. So I just wanted to show you what this can do, and not too capable of hands. And there's grass out here, so I'm going to zoom in on some grass. Just a really high quality thing. Now let's get some 4K video. So I'm going to zoom out. This is a let's see, what is it, 24 to 70? Yeah, 24 to 70 millimeter. Check the link within this video's description for the specs. But what I'm going to do is do some 4K video, and this is I'm about to switch over to this when I start recording on this, so you'll see. It's recorded at 100 megs per second, 4K, 30 frames per second. Actually, the video I'm still speaking on now, that's being recorded by the AX100, it's 4K 100 megs per second as well. But this is 4K 100 megs per second, and just look at how tiny this camera is. So let's hit record on this, and I'm going to walk around. Again, 5-minute duration limit on the 4K video with this RX100 Mark IV. But let's hit record. There's a record button right here. It says, see, it says movie, a little red, a silver button with a red center. So I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to start completely zoomed out. Okay, so to see now the video you're seeing is from the RX100 Mark IV, and I'm walking towards the AX100 that's still recording the audio. But see, just look at how smooth this is. So now let's do a little bit of zoom here. I'm going to zoom in on this camera. I'm zooming now using the manual, the zoom knob that's on the lens, around the lens itself. So that's maximum zoom. And now I'm going to zoom back out using that. So you can see it's kind of stopping as I stop, which makes sense. Now I'm going to come over here and show you what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this button right here. I was using that ring right there before. Now we're going to use that button. So we're going to zoom in. And this is what I really like. Just look at how smooth that is. Just a very smooth zoom. And now we're going to zoom back out. And now I'm going to stop recording of this video clip. So what we want to do now, obviously that audio was coming through my AX100 external mic. But what we're going to do this time, we're going to do we're going to film some more. I'm going to walk around and film this grass, and I'm going to talk while I'm doing it. But I'm going to switch to the audio of the built-in audio for not the AX, but the RX100 Mark IV that I have in my hand. So let's see how that sounds. Okay, so this is the audio from the RX100, and I'm just kind of gently panning around as I film here. And we're going to zoom in on some grass. It is a really sunny day out here, which is great. But the zoom on this, that's one thing you may really like to see how smooth that is, because that's something you don't get in a lot of point and shoots. And I mean, this camera for a point and shoot really does some professional quality video, in my opinion. Again, I wish it had a hot shoe, but you can't have everything. So this is still the audio from the RX100 Mark IV. And I'm going to zoom in on the camcorder now. You can see just how smooth that is. And if you want to take it fast, you can. Look, watch this. Well, that's the fastest it'll zoom. I think that may be a configurable setting. That's something I'll investigate, but I like it how it is now. This is how I'm going to keep it, just because it's slow and more cinematic in my opinion. But you can just see how incredible this video is for 4K. And again, it's being filmed on this tiny little point and shoot. So there goes a boat by right there. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on it. So see, I was moving and zooming at the same time, and you can see quite incredible zoom for such a small camera. And again, if you wanted something with a little bit more zoom, you can check out the, I'm going to stop this recording now. So that recording stopped. But if you want something with a little bit more zoom, you can check out the RX10 II, which comes out in August, and it's at a high level. The technology inside of it's pretty much the same as this. With the addition, you're going to get a lot more. Zoom out of it. But with that being said, you're also getting a bigger camera. That's what makes this camera so unique, is being able to put it in the palm of your hands. I mean, look at how tiny that is. And that's why I like it. I mean, that This camera, in conjunction with the camera that I'm filming with right now, the Sony FDR AX100, these two in my bag, you know, I'm good to go. I can do these extended duration clips here on the AX100, and I can pull this out of my pocket and shoot quality stills and up to 5-minute 4K video clips. And this does do incredible slow motion. For this review, I'm not going to do any of the slow motion because I don't really have anything out here that's really suitable for that. But that's something I'm going to explore in the near future. But I got this primarily, again, for 4K video and to shoot high quality stills. So I hope this video is of value. You know, if you're on the fence, you don't know which camera you want to buy. I had a friend of mine, STK's Adventure Channel. Check him out on YouTube. He actually had the previous version of this, and now he's got this one as well. But it was a situation where I had the field bag at the time, and I had a DSLR and a ton of lenses, and you know, I feel like I was doing doing really well with the equipment. And I went out to several locations to film videos and shoot some stills as well. And the quality that STK's Adventure Channel was getting from the previous generation, the RX100 Mark III, greatly surpassed the quality that I got with my DSLR and multiple lenses. So it was really really amazing to see what can come out of such a small camera. So I hope you were impressed by this video. Drop me a line with any questions you may have. Again, I'm not a professional photographer by any means, and that's the main thing that attracted me to this was, you know, how good Sony cameras are with autofocus. So I don't have to, when I'm out in the field, I don't have to tinker with all the manual settings and hope that everything's right. Hope that everything was right when I return to the studio and edit. This way, everything in auto is pretty much dead on, and now I've got another tool in my arsenal. So check the link within this video's description. Sony RX100 IV, also known as Sony RX100 Mark IV, and that's signified by the, see where it says 4 right there, RX100 IV, which means 4 in Roman numerals. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/iRixGuy. Y'all have a good day.